Hello, Smite fans, and welcome to the final match of the Smite Oceania Pro League. I'm Husey. Joining me is Nightfall, and Nightfall, this is it, the final set of what has been an incredible 7 weeks of competition. We've had highs, we've had lows, and the game we're going to go out on is going to be pretty amazing. Two old rivals going at it, SYF and Invidious.
Yeah, right at the end of the Pro League. I mean, it's amazing. We've got here so quickly, and it's been such a great journey. And ending on this matchup is going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to jump now straight into the P's and B's, and we've got Invidious on the blue side starting us off, and SYF on the red side. So our first ban coming through is going to be Kronos, taken away from Divine.
Yeah, so Invidious doing their research here, recognizing that Kronos is by far Divine's best god, even out of the solo lane where he's moved from the mid lane. So just really a target and a bit of a respect band there as well, because Divine, if he can get rolling with that, Kronos can very much carry his team.
No doubt. And then following that will be the standard Ao Kwang pick, as we saw Maxim play him in the first game just previously. Ao Kwang just absolutely wrecked. Got that great mobility, he's got the execute, he's got the damage, and he's just an all-round great pick. Following that is going to be the Ares band away.
Ares, that's very interesting to me that Invidious would take that away. I guess they've been kind of researching what Twist likes to play, who is a relatively new addition to SIF Gaming, and that Ares might be one of his kind of comfort picks. Or it could be looking towards something that Invidious themselves want to play. Maybe they're thinking of Circuit, who Ares counters a little bit. But I would have thought you would have seen something more like an Athena or a Sylvanas band out at this point.
Yeah, quite interesting. We'll see if they do that one away. Actually, it's going to be a Thor coming up next. Interesting that Sylvanas and Athena all make it through the first stage of banning.
And
Really interesting there.
And who makes it into the first? It's going to be Bologna, picked up for Invidious. That'll be going either the way of Top Notch in solo lane or Freemason in the jungle. Both of them like to play really controlling characters. Freemason likes his bruisery jungles more than he does necessarily his hyper carries, and that really sets up for the playstyle that Invidious like, where a rotation out of the solo lane or jungle will initiate their fights, and that'll allow Just Rogue to do a ton of damage. Next picks coming through from the way of SIF Gaming is going to be Athena and Rama. So Athena, a very strong pickup, can go pretty much anywhere across the map in any role. And we've seen what El Chuckles can do with her from the Direwolves. Let's see now what Liquid Renegade can do with her potential, or maybe even Twist in the support role. I'd be very keen to see how he applies Athena's potential. The Rama pickup as well. Someone's channeling some Snoopy.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Redoxide is able to channel that inner Snoopy, as you mentioned, but he is such a great AD carry. He can play almost anyone in that duo lane and come out on top close to every time. Following that, the picks coming up are going to be Gib and Agni. Gib and Agni, huge circle damage coming out.
I really like the Geb pick that's going to be going for Nickrick in the support role. He's been pretty excellent in the support role. He was a relatively new addition to the Invidious roster at the end of the Invitational ladder, and he was actually playing the solo lane there, and then he moved to support, I believe, in the qualifiers or at the start of the OPL. And Geb's been a really strong god for him. That's another set of initiation they like. But what Geb also provides, obviously, is the Stone Shield, the protection, which is something that Nickrick does very well, is protect the backline, provide some peel for his team. Agni I really like on Just Rogue because he's such a mechanically gifted player. He's able to hit all of the bombs exactly where they need to be, as well as using the stuns to create some opportunities for his team.
Yeah, and just Rogue, his comfort is that Scylla, so hitting small circles is pretty easy for him, so big circles won't be too much of a challenge at all for him. The next pick coming through is going to be Sylvanas. Third pick, really interesting that it got to that stage, but that's going to be for SIF there. That's going to be in the hands of Twist most likely, and that's going to mean that Athena will be on Liquid Renegade.
That's a lot of healing out now for the side of SIF Gaming, and really, Invidious is going to have to get some kind of anti-heal. It's going to be a weakening curse, which is nerfed, or maybe something like an Odin or a Medusa that will provide some of that anti-heal. We move through our next bands. It's going to be a Wheelix and Poseidon taken away, and Scylla picked up here for SIF Gaming.
Yeah, very interesting. Magnet, we haven't seen him on that on a Scylla before, mainly because he just recently moved mid lane and he hasn't played that much. He's a very good Giannis, however. So it's going to be interesting to see how he uses that one. But it's going to be kind of easy as well because the I'm a Monster, mix that in with the Confound from Liquid Renegade, is going to set up very, very well for that damage coming through.
And we can see here, here's the anti-healing coming through from Invidious in the form of Circuit, why they banned Ares, and combining that with a Geb is a very strong combination, as Geb is another one of those counters to Circuit. Gibalanque also taken here for them. That's going to be going the way of Rana Brana. Ratatoska, though, the last pick for SYF Gaming. So is this Athena solo Ratatoska jungle, or is it jungle Ratatoska solo?
We haven't seen Ratatoska solo ever. I mean, you only really see that sometimes
in OPL, we haven't.
In a casual game. Yeah, sorry, in OPL, I must clarify. But interesting. I feel like it's most likely going to be a solo Athena rather than a Ratatoska solo. But it's the last game of OPL. Anything could happen. But it's going to be interesting to see how both teams use these team compositions. And based on this, it seems as though Invidious really want that late game. That early game potential, though, from the Agni and Circuit will carry them through that early game stage, though.
We'll have to see how it all goes down. We're going to head into match, a short break, and we'll be right back straight after this.
The new high-performance Rig 500 headset from Plantronics is designed to match the skills of an aspiring esport player with the gear they need to win. The new modular system gives you the power to adapt, upgrade, and personalize your headset for the task at hand. The Rig 500 series of gaming headsets are engineered to deliver the perfect combination of durable lightweight comfort in an immersive audio environment. 7.1 surround sound and 24-bit audio provide a stunning 360-degree sound field with directional audio. 40mm drivers with low-frequency resonators provide crisp highs and boosted bass. Clear voice noise-canceling technology provides clear communication to your teammates. From the headset company that equips the pros, the 500 series was crafted to meet the needs of esports and competitive players around the world. The new Rig 500 series of headsets from Plantronics. Respect the training. Reactions win.
When the world needs conquerors. When being rare is not enough. And even epic fails. It's time to create your own fate. To become legendary. No matter what kind of enemy you face, or what kind of game you play, you can become the craftsman of your own legend. It's time to create your own legend. Time to build your victory. Rocket Myth.
Hey there, Smite fans, check it out. See what Sandboxer's about. Print it, 3D print your favorite cards. Print it, Kugo Kansu, Sun Wukong, and try to collect them all from image to the wall. You could even score your very own for take out a loan and order more. Print it.
Hey guys, welcome. Match between Invidious and SYF Gaming, our last set for the Oceania Smite Pro League. This is going to be a very good set, I feel, Nightfall. Two old foes battling it out. And while this game doesn't really have consequences in terms of who does what at PAX, what is on the line is, of course, pride and a little bit of confidence heading into that Challengers Cup tournament that maybe we can be the 4th seed team at PAX, take out that final spot. But Nightfall, let's take a look at our teams as we head into this one. Talk to me a little bit about this Scylla mid lane pick.
Scylla mid lane. So it's going to, of course, Scylla is that late game carry. As soon as she hits level 20, she just goes off her head and destroys pretty much everyone. But as she levels up, she gains power from her passive Quick Learner. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play out early game. Liquid Renegade is going to have to help out Magnet against the Agni early game powerhouse. So look to see how Liquid integrates his path with Magnet.
Alrighty, so let's take a look at now. Both teams finally have all connected. Everyone finally getting out of base. A little bit of a delay there. Looks like Redoxide had some issues connecting, but both supports coming out with Blink rather than Weakening Curse, so everyone recognizing kind of the nerf to that item that has occurred, and choosing instead a bit more of an aggressive item active, I feel, in terms of Blink.
Yeah, so I quite like Weakening. It's more, it lasts a lot longer than most early game CCs, like the Root or the Taunt, but it's an interesting choice, indeed. But anyway, shall we introduce our teams? Usually on the side of SYF Gaming, we've got Divine in the solo lane as Ratatoska, Liquid Renegade in the jungle as Athena. Our mid lane will be Magnet on Scylla. Twist247 will be our support as Sylvanas, and 80 carry is going to be Redoxide on Ram.
And on the left side of your Spetty Eye, fighting under the blue health bars, order side of your minimap, we have got Invidious. Top Notch is your solo lane Bologna. Freemason will be in the jungle with Red Pot Scylla. Just Rogue is going to be in the mid lane as Agni. Nick Crick and Rana will make up your duo lane as Geb and Sylvanas. But quickly, both Top Notch and Freemason have gone Red Pots here, so they're looking for some very early aggression, some early kills for that side of the map.
Yeah, indeed. So going to have to make use of this early game, because if you don't make use of a red pot between the first 2 minutes of the game, you're sort of wasting it. It's 450 gold and it times out. It's not a permanent stat.
Yeah, and they're gonna, the early aggression as well will help get Saket to the kind of phase of the game where she's most potent, which is that mid to early late game. And once she's able to start getting some crit online, if she gets a Deathbringer or something like that, it's going to be really difficult for SYF to deal with, considering they don't have a Geb. And the anti-healing she's going to be outputting as well is really going to affect what Twist can put for his team.
Yeah, indeed. I'm really interested in this solo lane Ratatoska. I want to see what Acorn of Yggdrasil. It's quite an interesting title there, but his passive, of course, oh wow, takes a lot of damage from Top Notch. Divine forced away. Holy cow, that damage coming through from Top Notch. The squishy Ratatoska already.
The Scourge nearly killed him there, nearly got first for Top Notch, and that's the power of the Red Pot that we can see already. Take a look at some of our warding now. We could see that SYF's warded very aggressively. They've warded the red of Invidious to get the timer on that, as well as 2 paths into the mid lane, whereas Invidious has only got 1 ward very defensively on the solo side. I guess Top Notch really doesn't want that red pot taken away from him early. Doesn't manage to land the bludgeon there onto Divine, still clears the wave a little bit though. Let's take a look towards our duo lane now. We can see with Sylvanas, the pull nearly lands onto Rana there, but Sylvanas and Rama up against a Geb and Jibalanke. How do you see this lane going in terms of the early game?
The early game, most likely to the Sylvanas, mainly because of the sustain that he will give the Rama on top of the Shibalanke. However, the branching bowlers is going to clear just that tiny bit faster than the piercing arrows from Rama.
Back towards our mid lane now. Astrogue has hit level 5. It's very quick leveling for him. Freemason as well has just hit level 5, so I expect we're going to see some aggression out of these guys here. Looks like Freemason's heading on over towards the duo lane. Look to see some aggression towards Redoxide there, who hasn't hit level 5 yet. Doesn't have his Astral Barrage to get away from any of the CC of Invidious. Freemason's hanging around there now, hasn't gone into ambush yet, just hanging around behind a wall, waiting very patiently, but Liquid Renegade and Magnet are starting to rotate over as well. It seems like they just sniffed it out, but Freemason's going in. There's the Defender of Olympus coming down onto Twist. Pull doesn't land. Freemason taking a bit of poke there from Radok's side. Now going to walk away, but Magnet is here too. It's a 4-man rotation from SYF. There's the taunt, but the Zone Shield is excellent as well. Knockup comes out from Nick Crick. Nothing much going to be found here, but the bombs from Just Rogue do a ton of damage there. Crusher comes out. Nothing much to be had here. Both teams are gonna look like they're backing off, except for Invidious actually, who look like they want some more out of this fight.
And both blinks were not used there, so they held on to those. And I'm not too sure why, because it looked as though Nick Crick could have re-engaged with Just Rogue, because that Path of Flames was still up for that re-engage. Maybe they could have taken down Magnet or Red Oxide there.
It's because they didn't have their ultimates. They hadn't hit 5 yet. And so if they blinked in, they could only use like some very small range CC. I feel like if Nick Crick had his Cataclysm there, he would have gone in and been able to use it and get some more there for Just Rogue to find. Liquid Renegade gets a taunt in the mid lane, puts the shield wall down. There's the Armor Monster, the great dash through there from Just Rogue. Actually, no, Twist
That was
pulled him
actually a
out of that.
Twist
saved him.
Go down. There's the poison onto Twist. Will that be first blood? And Just Rogue steals that one away from Freemason, but the pull, Husey.
Oh, Twist, mate! you saved Just Rogue. I thought Just Rogue had actually dashed away there very gutsily into the heart of the opposition, but no, it was a pull from Twist.
That was very, very unfortunate there. Just a slight timing and miscommunication from SYF Gaming there. But that is first blood now to Invidious and onto an Agni, whose early game is already strong enough, now with an extra 400 gold on top of Magnet.
One little thing I want to point out is that Brana gets credited with an assist there, which will give him a little bit of gold advantage. It's actually going to enable him to get his Transcendence here, so he's going to be able to start stacking when he gets back in the lane. Yesterday, we saw both Subfloor and Just Lane go the Devourer's Gauntlets route in terms of what they were building on Xbalanque. Talk to me about why you think Brana's going to be using the Transcendence.
It's mainly because of the mana, and the Branching Bowler costs mana. So he'll be able to use that Branching Bowler a lot more and sustain a lot longer in lane as well as in the fights. It's the highest physical power at max stacks on any from any other item. At level 20 on a Xbalanque, it is 90 extra physical power, which is massive damage coming through.
And that's going to be some of that lake damage you were talking about pre-cast. That's really where a lot of the physical damage is going to be coming out of, because I feel like Top Notch is going to be playing relatively defensively with the Bellona, be using himself as more of an initiator, and then Freemason's very single target damage, whereas Brana's a lot of sustained damage onto the whole team with the Branching Bowlers.
Indeed, indeed. And it looks as though Divine was going for that Emerald Acorn, the one that does heal whenever you do hit an enemy. That does include minions as well, so he's gone for that sustain, which is something that's definitely required on Radatosk in the solo lane, as we have paused out here.
Yeah, a little bit of a pause coming through, as you mentioned. Not quite sure why. It doesn't look like anyone's disconnected at this point. Possibly someone's experiencing some issues. We know everyone out there knows what that's like with the SPL going the way it did this week. It looks like Twist has disconnected at this point, and we'll hopefully be bringing you the action again soon. But we could see from the side of Invidious some early beads coming out from Freemason and Just Rogue.
Yeah, they're really, really afraid of those taunts coming from Liquid Renegade, as well as the grab and a Wrath of Terror from Twist. They don't want any of that. Something I really want to point out is that Nick Crick has finished his Traveler's Shoes, whereas Twist has not. So Nick Crick is going to be able to roam around the map a lot more than what Twist can. Nick Crick can. I said Nick Crick, right?
You had it right. I'm not sure why you corrected yourself.
I corrected myself, correcting myself. That made sense. So Twist is going to be a lot more immobile for a short time, but Liquid Renegade is still there with that Defender of Olympus.
We are back now with the action. I really like the Traveler's Shoes pickup on Geb. It allows him to get to that late game stage where he is the most potent. A lot of people recognize him as the best support late game, but Sylvanas is nothing to be sniffed at either. Top Notch gets a lot of damage down onto Divine in the solo lane, but Liquid Renegade has come here, dashes in. There's the Eagles rally to get him out of trouble there, and Liquid Renegade will definitely be thinking worth after that one, because he forced out an ultimate basically at the price of a dash and a taunt.
Yeah, indeed. I feel like even if the taunt landed, Top Notch still would have lived. But either way, the ultimate is now on cooldown. That's 70 seconds that they can focus. As we do see, Liquid Renegade does come back. There's a taunt going down, and so much damage coming through from Divine and Liquid Renegade. The body block coming from Liquid does the damage, finish him off. Divine with a very nice dash, and shotgun of Acorns comes through to finish that one off. And that's the first blood for SYF.
Yeah, so they're going to be really liking that kill there. It went the way of the Ratatoska as well, and getting him fed. Even though he's been nerfed a little bit, missing a couple of dashes, he's still really powerful, can still a lot of damage if he can dash through a lot of people. With the Emerald Acorn as well, the sustain he's going to be able to have will be incredible for him. There needs to be, there's going to have to be an anti-healing item coming out somewhere on Invidious as we move towards the mid-game. Maybe a Brawler's Beat Stick, Divine Ruin, or Awakening Curse somewhere, just to be able to counter the healing that will be output by SYF in terms of Twist Sylvanas and Divine's Ratatoska.
Yeah, it really needs to come out. I'd really like to see a Divine Ruin from the Agni, because the ticking damage reapplies that healing debuff, and it's much easier for just Rogue to hit multiple enemies, as well as yeah, it's just that healing reduction is much easier to get off than up speed sticks, which only applies on basic attacks.
Crusher comes down in the mid lane, hit Nickrick, but not really going to be too worried about this one. We can see Freemason creeping towards the solo lane at this point in time, maybe looking for something onto Divine, who's just hanging around behind his wave, doesn't really want to engage onto Top Notch here. Freemason actually blinks through the walls, doesn't land the Cobra's Kiss, dashes through the wave, and just leaves the lane. A little bit kind of like, you know, I tried.
There was pretty good reaction coming from Divine. As soon as he saw the blink, he just turned around and dashed away and dodged that one out. Very nice reaction time coming through. And look at this, the ward in the mid lane, the one that no one will ever counter ward from SYF Gaming. Just to see those rotations from the support and the jungler that use that pathing route to try and get to the other side of the map. Even though the mid laner will see them, if the mid laner is
purple buff invade now coming through from SYF. Not sure if they managed to pick that one up. It looks like they did, yes. Reduxide's going to go ahead and grab that one. Liquid Renegade played that one very nicely, dashing towards it there. Rogue dropping some bombs over towards the gold tree. There's a blink cataclysm in from Nickrick. Darkside Knights is down there as well. Magnet gets taken very low. Freemason's going at him hard. There's the last breath poison. I'm a Monster goes up, but Freemason picks him up before he can even land it. Pool comes in from Twist. Bombs raining down from the heavens from Just Rogue. And Invidious going to pick up a kill there. SYF forced to retreat.
And will this be the Gold Fury for Invidious? It looks like it. They've started it off. Rana taking huge damage actually as Nickrick now with the aggression, but it looks like SYF really want to re-engage or at least get Invidious off of this one, and they do. Just the presence itself forces Invidious away.
Invidious were too low to really try and fight there. Just Rogue, the only one of half health when SYF looked to come back in there. Wise decision to just back off that. But it was a good attempt anyway. You may as well take it and try and get it if SYF's going to give it to you for free, because they saw 3 members of SYF backing off. They thought, you know, let's chance our hand here.
It looks like mid-camp's being taken by Liquid, but Just Rogue wants a piece of that as well. We'll see who steals this one. It's the battle for mid-camps, and it's the burst. Actually, no, 1 for 1. Liquid to 1, Just Rogue for the other. I always like those small skirmish for the mid-camps. It's always interesting to see.
It used to be so much of a battle as well. Like 3 minutes would come around and everyone would be at the mid-camps ready to fight. And now I feel like even though they give you the same amount of golden XP, they just prioritize less because of the 10-minute spawn time. And it's a really interesting thing to consider that by shifting the spawn time to 10 seconds in, it's really changed the priority of the mid camps.
It's actually really good because it brings more diversity than the same start every game, which is something that I feel like Hi-Rez just really wanted to fix. Rather than the same start every game, it brings, you know, variety to starting off that jungle, and the respawn timer being nerfed as well. It just means more jungle presence from pretty much everyone.
Take a look towards our optimization here at this point. Rana has got his RC online, so he's going to be able to lifesteal like Redoxide's going to be able to do, but with a little bit of extra pen and a loss of movement speed though, as he doesn't have his boots online at this point. So that might be somewhere where SYF can look to catch him up, particularly with the Athena jungle pick and the Ratatoska dash. If iDivine can rotate over to that side of the map in time, we can actually see they're diving top-notch under the tower here. Great taunt in there from Liquid Renegade, but great stun back from Just Rogue. There goes the bombs, and he gets it onto iDivine, who can't get into the air. Liquid Renegade gets Cataclysm by Nickrick, and Just Rogue credited with a double kill there, but SYF Gaming going to go for the Gold Fury at this point in time. They recognize the rotation, and they're going to take what they can get off the back of some Invidious aggression.
Yeah, but Varana has showed up. Can he steal it away? No, he can't. Just, oh wow, actually, can he get a kill onto SYF? Or no, Reduxo is going to force him away, but SYF, very nice. A way of mitigating loss. Oh, Magnet taking huge damage in that mid lane to just Rogue. He's forced to Sentinel away. So they knew that they had lost over there in the solo lane. So they said, okay, what can we get from this? Let's do Gold Fury, because there's 4 members of Invidious on that solo side of the map. As just Rogue gets that kill down onto Magnet in the mid lane. And Twist takes huge damage actually from that Path of Flames. And now it looks like Invidious are going to dive him under tower. Top notch credited with that one. And here is across the Cosmos. Divine is now here. Huge damage onto Nickrick. He's taken very, very low. Rama is in the air. Can he get the snipes down onto Top Notch? Last one. He will get it. Snoopy is in the house. Red Oxide taking that snipe out.
Divine also fell there, so it looks like it's going to be a 2-3 trade going in favor of Invidious there. Unfortunately, with a loss of the Gold Fury, let's take our first look at our graphs at this point in time. It's going to be a 2,500 XP difference in favor of Invidious, 1,300 gold, and they're really coming out and showing up in this early game, and that's really positive for them, because as you mentioned, their team comp is that much more late game than that of SYF Gaming. While SYF does have the Scylla and Rama that perform very well late game, Gibalange is pure late game, Geb is late game, Cirquet is late game. It's going to be, and Agni is just good all game, same with Bologna.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really difficult for SYF to take a win against Invidious here if they allow Invidious to keep winning this early portion of the game.
Yeah, and they had to mitigate as much damage as possible with that Gold Fury, as we mentioned before, but the dive under tower from Invidious was so well executed. Even though they did lose one, which was top notch, it was just hot Rama snipes coming through from Red Oxide.
The start of that fight as well was Just Rogue just simply blowing up Magnet under his own tower with a fire bomb and with a flame wave as well. The damage he's outputting at this point is pretty incredible, considering at the time all he had was the Shoes of the Magi and a second level Pythagorean's Piece. He didn't even have that completed. It really speaks to the power of Agni early game, and a lot of people don't respect the amount of damage the bombs can output because there's 3 of them. Nickrick actually forced to use a Cataclysm there. Crush lands. Darkest of Nights comes out as well. Freemason's here. The bomb lands onto Liquid Renegade. Bit of an awkward fight here at this point. No one really wants to go in except for Liquid Renegade, who dashes taunts, and then there's a Wrath of Terror to knock up everyone. The Crush was great there. In comes Top Notch with the Eagles Rally, doing a lot of damage. Divine picks up a kill onto Rogue, though. Top Notch looking for the kill onto Liquid Renegade, who manages to get away as Twist body blocks beautifully. Now Top Notch is facing off 1v3 as Freemason's forced to back out here. Top Notch, you really need to get out, but Divine got to be able to pick up the kill.
Magnet just sits there with an armor monster, look confused, but very well executed fight from SYF Gaming there. And iDivine just sitting off to the side with that across this Cosmos comes in and just eradicates just Rogue from that fight.
And that was a lot of their damage coming out there. Freemason blinking in now, uses the last breath onto Twist there, but not really too much going to be found off the back of its Stone Shield from Nickrick to get Freemason out of trouble, as he is blown up pretty hard there by iDivine. Not really sure what their ultimate is all about.
It looked like Twist was tanking the tower there, so he tried to get Twist to take more and more damage from tower shots not being able to do anything, plus the poison. But really, really interesting target of a tank that's above 50% HP. You're really not going to take him down.
He wasn't even taking the tower. There were minions there as well.
Wasn't he? Oh,
no,
okay.
He wasn't tanking it. That's what made it so curious to me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of supports, Nickrick is up. How much gold is that? 1,000? No, sorry, 200. No, it was much 200. More just before that tower went down. It was a great lead from Nickrick on top of Twist, even though the Gold Fury had been taken. But it was nice for SYF to take that tier 2 tower. That's an extra 300 gold per player. And now they've caught back up in the gold. Take a look at the graphs. It's now 1.3k gold in favor of SYF.
I think the fact that it's just the 2 tower this early in the game is pretty huge for SYF as well, because it allows them to put that much more pressure down the middle of the map. Like, it's just huge amounts of jungle presence.
And they can force up that jungle jungle presence. They can force up the wards to take the territory of Invidious's jungle, and look at all those movements. And in the mid lane, Invidious isn't going to have that safeguard of a tower. The closest thing is a Phoenix or a side lane tower. So SYF are going to be able to force engages. Speaking of forcing engages, Freemason blinks onto Magnet, who's forced to beats right away. It looks like Liquid Renegade looked for an engage. There's a taunt, but a Gib shield counteracts that one. Now it looks like both teams... Oh, actually, Invidious really want to engage. Magnet takes huge damage. Cataclysm does go down. There's a Wrath of Terror as well. And Across the Skies comes through, and Divine looking for a kill. What can he get, QZ?
Liquid Renegade blinks in there and onto the backline. Top Notch is here though as well. Bludgeon does a lot of damage to Redoxide. There's the Scourge to disarm him. The Stone Shield there from Nick Crick was excellent, as it prevented a lot of damage onto Top Notch from the Crush. And both teams gonna disengage here. Both too weak to really want to continue the fight. Although Rana and Just Rogue look like they want to find something here. Nick Crick not gonna be able to set up for them though, as his blink is down.
Indeed, but Liquid Renegade still has that dash if he wants to go in, and it looks like it. Oh wow, this is a good Fury start off for SYF Gaming. And here is 3 members of Invidious, while at the same time, Top Notch is taking blue buff. Have teleport?
I don't think he does. He might be buying it
he's
here
on the
at
wrong
this
side
point.
of the map.
Yeah, Nick Crick forced to Stone Shield himself. Freemason diving through the line. Then Liquid Renegade take it pretty low. Just Rogue looking for a kill here. Flame Wave comes out, and then Path of Flames to dash away. Both teams kind of in a very awkward situation down this narrow corridor leading to the Gold Fury. SYF looking for it there, but unable to find it. Top Notch, he was able to take the blue buff there and come back in, because Invidious weren't really looking for a kill there. They were looking more to force SYF off. There's a Defender of Olympus coming down from Liquid Renegade, however. There could be another fight about to break out.
Look at the vision that SYF has over Invidious, though. They can see almost every move that Invidious are trying to make. So they can play defensively, but that was actually very nice disruption play from Invidious onto the Gold Fury start off from SYF. But now it looks like Invidious really want to start this one off, as Just Rogue gets huge damage down onto the tank of SYF. Oh, beautiful 3-man taunt coming through, and there is a Wrath of Terror on top of everyone. Twist, will he fall? Barana secures a double kill. Not what you want on a Shibalanka. He's got 3 stacks on that passive now. There is Across the Cosmos coming through. Divine with massive damage onto the carries. He eliminates Freemason from the map. Cataclysm down on towards him. Oh, that shotgun damage though. Huge damage coming through. Redoxide gets taken down by Top Notch, who's right in the back line, and Liquid Renegade takes down Barana. Trades all across both teams.
Yeah, a very messy fight leading up to this point. Idivine taking a little bit low here. Nice bomb stun there from Just Rogue, and he absolutely melts Idivine off the face of the map. Path of Flames comes out. They're looking for Liquid Renegade at this point. He taunts them in. Not really much point there, as they were more than happy to keep beating his face in, which they do. Nick Crick credited with the kill here, and maybe even Invidious are feeling like they can do enough damage. They're thinking about this Gold Fury.
And that was an unofficial side. The only reason they didn't get that one is because Twist respawned from that start of the fight, and now they're looking for this Gold Fury. The only thing that will stop them is Twist and a very well placed Wrath of Terror. It's actually still on cooldown, and Top Notch is playing Disruption. Both teams playing Disruption. No one wants to no one can get this Gold Fury.
Hey, because Magnet had respawned at that time, had his armor monster up. He could have stolen that away if Twist delayed them enough. Invidious wisely backing out there, not really wanting to try and stick around too much. They didn't have the health and mana to really force a fight there, especially with a understrength team. As you mentioned during that fight, however, Barana has now got 3 stacks in his passive. That's pretty big for a Shibalanka around the mid game. He's going to be hitting really hard, considering he's also got Executioner online. It's going to be chunking away quite a bit at the members of SYF Gaming.
Yeah, he's got that Executioner and Transcendence in the Asai, and that 15 extra physical power from his passive. On top of Redoxide, he's also got 400 extra gold? No, 200 extra gold. And Redoxide's got those Devourer's gloves, Ikaval and Executioner. So that Ikaval is going to do work against Barana, bringing him down to Redoxide's level of physical power.
Still though, he'll still be doing a lot of damage if you consider the branching bowlers and the added damage that they can do. I still feel like Rana Brana is going to be able to outbox Redoxide at this point, especially with the RC passive if he gets a bit low. Combining that with some of his other abilities. While Redoxide does have his own damage move in terms of the Astral Strike, the branching bowlers last a little bit longer.
Yeah, indeed, and it's more damage over time rather than the Astral Barrage that will... oh wow, there's a blink in the mid lane. Taunt comes out, not going to land onto anyone. There's a Rathatera follow-up. It's only going to land on 2 members, and Invidious spaced out so well. There's a 2-man Cataclysm by Nikrik, and that was a very nice trade from Invidious. No one falls across the Cosmos, does come out from Divine. He does get a little bit of damage down onto Just Rogue, and this is the first blood of the fight as Top Notch gets a kill onto Twist, and now a Freemason's huge shield comes out as he's on the backline. Just Rogue secures a kill onto Liquid Renegade. Divine does take down the support, but Magnet, will he fall to Just Rogue? There is the Flame Wave coming out. He's got that double kill, and the fight continues, Hughesy.
Divine gonna go down here to Rana Brana. Freemason somehow made it alive there. Just Rogue is playing tremendously this game. He's 7-1 and 8, dashing under the tower. Redoxide jumping up and down there, taunting him a little bit, but he may pay for his cheekiness here, but Just Rogue, no, he's going to concentrate on the tower. They'll take that one. Rana Brana doing a lot of structured damage at this point of the game. Invidious, they're winning these team fights really, really well. Liquid Renegade just kind of over-pushed himself there, dived into 4 members of Invidious, but didn't have the damage to back him up.
And Divine is doing work on this Ratatoska. Although he is dying in these team fights, he's trading very well. He got a double kill in the last team fight, not the one just happened, but the one before that. And he's sitting at 6 and 4 top kills. And let's take a look at player damage actually as well.
It's the 2 players we just mentioned. The top player damage is Just Rogue, and then right underneath that, Divine.
And that is actually really, really amazing from Divine. Agni, of course, top damage as expected. He's got that ticking damage and the poke damage from Rain Fire. So the fact that Ratatoska is sitting there at 2nd place is extremely commendable.
Rana Brana following up very close behind Divine. He has been doing a lot of work on this Jubilanque 4 passive stacks. Now for him, he's getting to a scary level damage, and while he's being killed in these team fights, he's being killed late in the team fights, and he's doing too much damage for SYF to really deal with before then. Him and Just Rogue together, they need to be the focus of SYF's aggression rather than Freemason.
Yeah, indeed. Freemason, he's sitting at 1-1 and 8, but he's doing work with these last breaths, and it's actually very, very good to see. As again, Gold Fury being contested, but no one can take it. Across the Cosmos is Divine. He gets stunned out immediately, forced to beads. Darkest of Nights now on cooldown as well. Nothing going to be found from 2 ultimates coming up.
And there's a Blink Cataclysm from Nikrik that catches 4 members of SYF in it. And then Redoxide being dived on by Freemason in there. Uses the last breath. Great Stone Shield from Nikrik. Prevents a lot of damage. Wrath of Terror hits 4 members of Invidious. These 2 supports are doing really nice work these games. Firebombs comes over the wall. Twist is going to fall to Freemason. The snipes come out from Redoxide. Freemason ambushes away and just avoids the last one. He could have gone down there as the first 2 hits. But now it's the back line of SYF that's going to go down. Rana Brana gets a kill. Top Notch gets a kill. It's only Redoxide and Liquid Renegade left alive. Both of them got it back here, and Invidious looking like they want to take another tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and they will be able to. The damage now. Redoxide coming back with Liquid Renegade. Will they be able to get them off in time? Doesn't look like they will, as the tower will fall, and Redoxide and Liquid Renegade forced to just watch that tower fall, as a extra 1,500 gold is now in the pockets of Invidious, and they want another one of that Gold Fury. That's going to be 3,000 extra gold for the whole team of Invidious.
It looks like they're finally going to have the damage bursted down in time before SYF can even get near it. Top Notch zoning out very nicely there. And they're all going to just back away at this point. Invidious doing some really nice work here. Let's take a look at Magnet for a second there. He's gone the Warlock Sash rather than a Book of Toth. Talk to me about why you think he's gone into that.
I think he feels like he's going to be targeted by Freemason. To counteract that true damage from the ultimate, you have to build health. So that's where that's coming from, and it makes you tankier, it gives you that power, and it's a very, very good overall item. So actually, how much extra health does it give? 300 base, and then it's 3 health per stack, max 100 stacks. So that's 600 extra health.
That really speaks to kind of the, I don't want to say fear, but like he recognizes the risk that is posed by Invidious, and they're really going to be focusing him, particularly Freemason. Freemason pretty much is just single target damage with this Circuit, and a really great target for him to do is going to be the Scylla, because she outputs so much damage for SYF Gaming. If he can get her out of the fight, that's a lot of their magical damage taken away.
Yeah, and Magnet is just trying to do is to not die in these fights. He has gone, well, he's actually 0, 5, and 4. He's, this is really, really unfortunate for him. All Divine in a little bit of a skirmish with just Rogue, but, wow, Fire Giant now being contested. Can they see that ward? Oh, actually, a ward just times out there for SYF. They're going to have to replace that one, and who do you think is going to be able to get this next Fire Giant? Well, the first Fire Giant.
If the scoreline's any indication, it's going to be Invidious. They've been winning the fights so far. If they can win another one, even if they can get a pick or two, especially if it's on towards Magnet, they could probably get it. Speaking of Fire Giant, if we have time before a fight breaks out here, remember to get a screenshot of the first Fire Giant in every series. You send that in if you do the exclamation mark giveaway in the chat. There's some details for a Google Doc you can fill in there to win a large Sandboxer figure, a voucher code for that. But it looks like the fight is going to break out around this tier 2 tower here. Top Notch hanging around the back wall of that fight. A nice bomb stun comes out there from Just Rogue. Blink it from Liquor Renegade, gets a 3-man taunt, 4-man Wrath of Terror now from Twist. Top Notch is in the backline, gets pulled in by Twist. In fact, bombs coming out from Just Rogue, doing a lot of damage to SYF Gaming. Blink it from Nicktrick, gets a great Cataclysm off Magnet, forced to dash away here as Rana Barana just going to be chunking down the tier 2 tower. Magnet goes up, but Freemason kills him before he can even land the Armor Monster. Liquor Renegade forced to dash away again. Freemason's got a double kill. Up in the sky is Eye Divine. He's looking for the backline of Invidious, but they're all going to turn on him, and he is erased from the map at this point. Invidious looking like they want to push and possibly win.
It looks like they definitely can, actually. Nick now gonna tank up this tower. Nice stun down onto Twist. He has Liquid, Red Oxide gonna be taken down. Top Notch secures that kill right next to the Titan. And is this Invidious ending? They look a little bit indecisive, but they are quite low on HP to actually take this one down. Respawn time is the next person up is going to be Magnet in 14 seconds. This is SYF Gaming going to lose 2 Phoenixes to Invidious.
And I think this is the correct call here. They didn't think they had the damage to burn down that Titan with only 1 Phoenix down and Magnet about to respawn. While Twist was the only member of SYF available at the time to defend the Titan, it just wasn't enough. They're going to back here, possibly look for the Phoenix, push for the Phoenix on the left side, or maybe even set up for Fire Giant if they can get some fire minions pushed up towards the Titan of SYF Gaming.
Yeah, and that's really all they have to do is just wait out those minion waves to push up, and then SYF are going to be forced to put someone back in defense. So Invidious are going to have that team fight advantage as someone from SYF will be defending. So it's going to be at least a 5v4 in favor of Invidious.
And that's really tremendous for them for this Fire Giant. They've already been winning team fights 5-on-5. 1-man advantage. They might even be able to take down all the members of SYF Gaming before they can get anywhere near the Fire Giant. Rana Brana doing a lot of damage here. I don't know if SYF respect how much he can actually output. Look at the damage coming down from Invidious. SYF didn't even get a chance to contest that as Top Notch zoned them out very nicely. And now Invidious, they're turning towards SYF Gaming. They're going to go in for the kill here. 2 Phoenixes down. This is the opportune moment for them to really push for the Titan. Liquor Renegade takes so much damage here. He's going to be burst down. Rana Brana gets credit with the kill here. Divine landed from the across the cosmos and just absolutely melted from Just Rogue's flames. Down goes Twist. That's a double kill for Rana Brana. Invidious looking extremely strong at the moment, looking towards his Titan. Only 2 members of SYF Gaming left to contest it. Fire Giant buff, 5-man advantage, 6 fully stacked Xbalanque. I don't think SYF Gaming are going to be able to hold out.
And SYF didn't get any damage down, well, close to any damage down at all to the side of Invidious. They have that Fire Giant and they just end the game so quickly. The team fight from Invidious was absolutely amazing right at the end there.
That was a great performance from Invidious. That is the potential we have been waiting all season long to see. We've seen flashes of it in the Direwolves game. We saw flashes of it in the Chiefs game, in the Avant game. Against those teams, they weren't quite able to get up over. Against SYF, though, this is about the level where a lot of people put them. A lot of people that were favoring SYF over Invidious, and for Invidious to take game one, that is huge for them. That's going to be a great confidence booster going into game number 2.
And SYF did a great job to take down that tier 2 tower in the mid lane. They had a very nice team fight that unfortunately Invidious were on the backside of. However, Invidious just said, no, we're just going to continue these team fights. We're going to execute them flawlessly, and they did. They only died 9 times to a total of 26 kills overall for that team. That was absolutely beautiful play from Invidious.
Big shout out has got to go the way of Just Rogue and Rana Brana, both tremendous amounts of damage there. 32k for Just Rogue on their Agni, 23k for Rana Brana on Gibalanke. SYF Gaming just weren't able to get any kills down onto them. They were able to pick up Top Notch and Nickrick a couple of times, but the damage was still there from Rana Brana and Just Rogue so much of the time. And Rana Brana just destroyed that Fire Giant. SYF Gaming, as you mentioned, not even able to get anywhere close to it. And Invidious looking really strong. If they could continue this form into the next game, that's going to be really big for them. However, SYF Gaming, they've got to be smarting after that loss. They reckon that they're the better team, and they need to come out and prove it in the next one. And we're just going to take a short break before we bring you all the action from game number 2.